Beyond my ancestors' own personal setbacks, she had to witness the brutal effects of war and later on saw the turning aftermath of the war into something beautiful. Around the 1940s, the Japanese invaded the Philippines due to conflict between rivaling nations, specifically the United States during World War II. The Japanese launched the invasion on December 8, 1941, and the Japanese were victorious in 1942 after the Battle of the Philippines. It was a scary time for everyone. One direct influence upon my ancestor was the Bataan Death March. After April 9th, 1942, the U.S. surrendered on the Bataan Peninsula on the main Philippine island of Luzon to the Japanese. Approximately 75,000 Filipinos and American troops were still held captive and were forced to make a 65-mile march to prison camps. The marchers trekked in intense heat and were subjected to harsh treatment by Japanese guards throughout the whole mile march, or 65-mile march. Thousands perished in what later became known as the Bataan Death March. It was from Mariveles on the Bataan Peninsula to San Fernando Tarlac, which was where my ancestor and my grandmother lived. There were bombs frequently there, and my father would tell me that my grandma would tell him how they would have to hide under tables in case the roof were to fall from the bombs. Filipino prisoners of war would even use improvised litters to even carry fallen comrades on Camp O'Donnell in Capas Tarlac following the Bataan Death March. Later on, my father would get to see the Capas National Shrine, which was a memorial to the Allied soldiers who died at Camp O'Donnell at the end of the Bataan Death March. The site, a former concentration camp, has a wall of engraved names of soldiers, a shrine, and monuments in honor of those who have fallen, which is a great sight to see. Just to reemphasize, just seeing all the shrines and the monuments dedicated to the fallen soldiers and just everyone who was affected by the Death March and the Japanese invasion was just a very powerful moment. And one picture which was very powerful to me and which struck my eye was this last one, which said, "Until victory, the fight must go on, each Filipino heart a bataan."